Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank, and I'm standing in our sales corral today because today's Monday, which is sales day. So what you're going to hear is the intro to our sales call, and what I wanted to talk about is the Super Bowl was last night, and the Super Bowl to me is a showcase of what's happening in the world. It reflects society, but it also reflects the economy, and we talked about how that affects us inside of our sales meeting. Terrell, welcome.
I'm sure this is actually going to be a shock to everybody, but I didn't watch a damn bit of the Super Bowl.
Recording in progress.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start on CC status, or do we want to start with something fun?
I like fun.
Something fun.
Yeah, you guys are very predictable. Hold tight. Who saw this last night?
The Barbie commercial?
Yeah. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Barbie really wants this dream house. It's got stunning views and a slide.
Barbie's ready for fun.
So cool! And Barbie found out about this dream house with an alert from Rocket Homes.
She did?
Well, it's a super competitive market. Everyone wants to buy the dream house.
Better offer Betty.
I'll go 10 over asking.
Cash offer Carl.
Straight cash.
House flipper skipper.
Let's tear it to the studs.
I'm going to pause there. Did everyone see that? House flipper.
Really cool.
House flipper skipper.
Let's tear it to the studs.
You vultures! You're gonna start a bidding war!
This is less than ideal.
Oh no!
Don't worry, Barbie has a verified approval that shows her finances are backed by Rocket Mortgage. So Barbie wins!
But we need a house.
Oh, I found a fixer-upper castle on Rocket Homes.
It has good bones, but really bad neighbors.
I like his vibe. Get your dream house all in one place with Rocket Homes and Rocket Mortgage. For a better way to find and finance, Rocket can.
Thanks for helping.
No problem, it's good for my glutes.
I missed it was good for my glutes part last night. I would have certainly used that as good news this morning. So what do you got, like, what do you think about that?
That's a fire commercial.
It's a what?
That's a fire commercial. It's relevant. It's been translated into today's culture. It's totally relevant. I like it.
I never liked Rocket Mortgage at all, but I like them a little bit now.
Looks like Rocket's getting into the home buying game.
I think it speaks to the society of like how big real estate market has kind of changed and how relevant it is to the normal person. That that's the first home commercial I've ever seen. So I think that does speak a lot to kind of the state we're in right now, just societal wise.
Seems like they're trying to reach a certain demographic as well, because I had one of those houses when I was a kid.
Anybody else?
It's taking people's fears and anxieties over what's going on in the market right now and giving them something to soothe their fears and pull them in and give them confidence, which is, an excellent marketing tactic.
I think Rocket Mortgage is very well run. And then the other thing they were promoting last night was what?
Rocket Homes.
Right. So I don't know what Rocket Homes is. Maybe that's what you were thinking. I think that's a new piece. It kind of feels like almost like a Zillow or something along those lines. Have you looked at it before? Have you shopped it? Have you used it?
I think they're doing similar to Cap Center, where they're going to list, like Cap Center does listing.
Redfin, like one of those kind of iBuyer list types. Okay. That's new, right? Yeah, exactly. So the mortgage piece is that, and that's a fairly established business. Like that's been around so long. The guy that owns that bought the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's a successful business. And then Rocket Homes, it seems like that's their foray into the market. I thought the house flipper piece was pretty crazy because like it really just brings out to light what's happening in the marketplace. And that's real. Does anyone, we've said this before, what out of what number, like one out of what number is sold to an investor in the real estate market today?
4 out of 10.
It's lower.
2 out of 10?
That means 1 out of 5. It's higher than that. It's 1 out of 6. So 1 out of 6. What's 1 out of 6 if you did percentage-wise? Right around 15%. So 15% of the market is flippers or investors. What does that mean for the market?
it means that inventory is even more tighter. Now you're competing with a whole nother person that maybe 15 to 20 years ago wasn't really a threat if you were just an average Joe home buyer.
What else does it mean?
85% are buyers that are in the market. People actively looking, searching for homes to live in.
Who wants to guess in 2008 what percentage of the market was either bank owned or short sales?
Ooh.
75.
Way lower. Way lower.
15.
Oh, 40%.
12%.
12% were short sales and 20% were bank owned. So call it 30% of the market was bank owned. So what I'm asking is this. If 15% of the market goes away, if your mom and pops aren't continually bailed out by appreciation and inflation, what happens when one half of the market from the worst home buying market we've ever seen is no longer a buyer?
The prices fall.
Does it make sense what I'm at? Yeah, the supply dries up. So does anyone ever ask, why do we have a construction department? Is it for right now?
No.
Why do we have it?
So we can pivot when it's necessary.
And when we pivot, what does that mean? What does that mean when you say we pivot?
We can readjust our focus to where the money's at.
Specifically though, if you can't wholesale, what do you do with the construction department? It's really simple.
Flip and build.
You flip it. You flip it. You flip it. So that's why you have a construction department, because in that time you need to do value add and you need to get out. We'll do less area 20 type stuff and more lipsticks type stuff because that will be available, which isn't really available right now, right? So why do you think I've given you a double dose of this conversation today?
Well, probably just like the market, make sure we're constantly realigning and shifting our focus on what we're looking at and paying attention.
Why else?
When we're, especially for us acquisitions managers, when we're in houses, we have to constantly be thinking about where it's going, where it's shifting, because that can impact our offers and how we analyze the property.
You're right around a corner from seeing the change. I mean, you see the change, so you're anticipating it right now.
Harry, what do you think?
There is a shift coming, and we are definitely ahead of it with the amount of houses that we're looking at currently and also the future. I mean, it's a great strategy. I was listening to a podcast last week by a good economist. It was featured on Bigger Pockets, actually, talking about the supply chain that's currently permits submitted, future permits coming up, and demand, and to see the shortfall that we currently are experiencing was actually very enlightening as to what the market is doing right now. It's not as dramatic as everyone expects. It's actually, there might be an oversaturation in certain pockets in the country.
There should be a spike in foreclosures eventually.
I don't think it'll be 2008 level though, in the sense that underwriting guidelines were very tightened after that crash.
Yeah, so Lindsay just hit on that perfectly. Like the mortgage process is completely shifted so that it's going to be completely different.
All right, so let's check this out. Wholesale, fix and flip, novation, listings, new builds don't count, turnkeys do, sales do. If you add all those up, that tallies 215. If you take wholesales alone, it's 67% of the market. That's a big number. So basically everyone on this call is on a comp plan. What pays the biggest rips?
Wholesale.
It's not even close. So, and if you get over thresholds, those numbers change. So the reason I wanted to kind of dive into this is for this. I think when the market changes, we're going to be fine as a business. Like I feel very, very strongly about that. But it's a harder process. Right now, it's as easy as it gets because you don't do anything. You get it under contract and you negotiate, and then you assign it, and you collect the fee in the middle. And that's the easiest. The least things can go wrong. It requires the least amount of people touching it. It's kind of critical. So you just saw our sales meeting talking about things that are happening in current events and how it can help drive your sales department. Take that, utilize it, and do with it what you can. See ya.